Niggas, when Doe got on, I said, nigga, Ryan had to dust you niggas off, huh? He said, man, he was like, nah, don't let this nigga tell you you slipped in no shit. Like, nah, niggas was talking.
Hey, if you go
to get out there and put it. He said, really, it was Ant talking.
It was.
Really
it was. Ant was like, y'all know I always been the fastest in the family, man. And see, the from at the finish line, it was a little pixely. And because of that, you couldn't see all the way to the start. But then it's the other angle right at the start. I don't think there was a false start, man. You all started at the same time, and Rob walked away with the W, man.
And I told Ron, I said, Ant ain't got, I don't slip or not. That nigga got burnt. He was done. He gave up halfway through.
Uh-huh.
I like, look, bro, you gonna have to race him again and win. Cause we ain't giving out no, I slipped. That counts, nigga, you lost.
I had fun up in Palmdale for Father's Day, man. I had to, I was going to the car. I was working while I was out there, off and on working. So I had to go to the car and grab my laptop charger. Doe's son was like, hey, 1v1. No, first he asked me for $10. He's like, can I have $10? I was like, no, you can't have $10. He's like, 1v1 for $10. I said, you want to play me for what I get? Because I'm not losing. What do I get? And he was like, oh, well, the 2 versus 1. He had his homie out there. It was 2 versus 1. I was like, still, what do I get? I was like, I need, what I bet? I bet I needed 20 push-ups from each of them. So we playing. Of course, he owes some kid stuff. I'm taking him to the basket. I'm like, it's going to be a quick game. We'll go straight to the base. He's like, he's not a shooter. Hit a couple middies, right? Then they had the other little buddy pop out. He's like, 3-on-1. I'm like, okay, bet, but that's 20 more push-ups now, so it's 60. Yeah. All of y'all, I was like, I need y'all to understand. Your boy is making y'all bet 60, not you do 20, 60 from all 3 of y'all.
I need my 60 from all of y'all before I leave. Yes.
So yeah, actually, Doe's son, he still owe me 30. The other 2 owe me 40. I didn't get the rest of my push-ups before I left.
Hell no. Get your hands.
Not because I made them get down and do something. Yeah. I ended up jumping up and leaving sooner than I expected to. Yeah. So they didn't get to pay their debt in full.
Nigga Shake had me dying. That nigga was like, it's Father's Day morning. That nigga said, it's Father's Day. I ain't woke up to no breakfast, no nothing. I ain't got a phone call from none of my kids. Nigga stomach empty, all that. Somebody asked him for something in the background. He said, you know what you could get? Go get that massage gun and put that right here on my back. He said, that's what you go do. It's Father's Day. Niggas good. He's like, it's crazy. They call me quick when they need some money. He said, this shit crazy.
That's real.
He said, I understand it. He said, all year. He said, I can't get one day where I can ask me for something. I like a spa.
Bro, he's so funny without even trying to be, man.
That nigga is hilarious.
Anyway, man, let's go ahead and get it started officially. Welcome to the Ain't Got It Yet podcast. I think this is episode 22, I want to say. 22. And I got my big bro, Steph, the kid Steph. We back in the family room, baby. We back in the family room, baby. I appreciate you pulling up on me, man. I feel it. My bad. Should have had that AC pumping for you. I apologize. What's good with you, man? I know we did our quick catch up, not quick, but we've been chopping it up for a minute. We're doing our catch up off camera. How you living though, fam?
I'm doing good, man. I cannot. This is like my new saying. I tell people, I can't complain, and I'm not going to complain.
I like it.
Life is good. I'm not going to complain about nothing. It's going down in submarines and all kind of stuff. I'm not going to complain about it. Like, I'm above ground.
I feel it.
On top of this water.
I say, you know, it's funny you say that about like something you've been saying. I guess I didn't recognize that I say it so much, but it is what I always say, whether it's in person, whether it's over text. When I see somebody, it's like, how you living? It's like, I can't complain, bro. How you living? That's what I say to everybody. And I said to somebody at the Switch Pro-Am on Sunday, a coach actually. I was like, he said, Flix, man, how you doing? I was like, oh man, I can't complain. He was like, you've been saying that for 3 years, man. I like that. I met him 3 years ago. You've been saying that consistently for 3 years. Every time I see you, man, I was like, hey, you complain? Who's listening? He was like, see? Gave me a bump. It's real though.
You know what's funny? It's like, it's a little thing, but like typically people say like, how you doing? How I started saying I can't complain because niggas is asking that as a throwaway. It's just like saying what's up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really want to hear what I'm going through, but like I was just telling you about some things I got in the works. Like, I really just in a different mindset of I'm not complaining about nothing.
I feel it.
I feel like I'm in a part of my life where like I'm in control of the environments I'm in and that I put myself in. If there's any reason to complain, it's about something I did, so I'm not gonna complain about it. I can't complain, and I'm not going to complain.
I like it. I think actually the homie that supposed to have 2 of them. I apologize. He's supposed to be dropping me off 2 more cups actually. But homie Terrell Online from Red Cup Gang, Red Cup Apparel. He was saying that. He was like, yeah, bro. He was like, everything. He's like, it's a result of decisions you made. He's like, your current life is a result of the decisions you either did or didn't make. He was like, so you really can't complain. He's like, I mean, every adult that's capable, you kind of, I'm not saying you put yourself exactly where, he was basically saying,
I get it.
You didn't put yourself exactly where you landed. He was like, but you're a result of your collective choices, so you can't complain.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I had the same feeling at first. I was like, when you think about it at its like just its base level, that's the truth.
Yeah. For the most part, like I'm thinking of extreme situations. Like there's people that put in situations they couldn't control, and then they had to work from there. So I guess yes, every decision you make after that. But it's like
yeah.
If I'm a child and I got some fucked up parents, like
yeah.
Maybe I make some other decisions in my adult life, but maybe I gotta learn some things because of my upbringing. But yeah, I feel for the most part I feel that, and in adulthood I feel that 100%.
This may be a little insensitive, but speaking of messed up parents, the CEO of the submersible, he took his son down there, and I guess reports is that his son didn't even want to go. But his son was like, it's Father's Day, I rock with you, Pop, come on, let's go.
His son didn't want to go, and his dad was like, yo, it's Father's Day. Mm-hmm. So what I heard is that, or seen on a podcast that I watched, I'll say the name, Dan Le Batard show, is that the kid's like, he was like deathly afraid. Like, he was like, I was holding.
Oh, come on,
and he
Pop.
toughed it up and did all of that for his father. Like I said, like I made a little joke. I was talking about this with wifey. I think the reason, because it's super sad. It's super sad and tragic. Mm-hmm. But I feel like the reason people feel comfortable making jokes, one, because I just feel like we're getting more and more insensitive. But 2 is, this is billionaires playing God. Like, you're playing around. You thought that you could go get a makeshift submarine and go see the Titanic. Not even a submarine. It's not a submarine.
Submersible.
It's a submersible. Like, and then, so, you know how I am. Like, I see this kind of stuff, and then I just start doing research on it.
That's crazy, bro.
There was a dude that went down for one of the test runs. And pretty much, they didn't go all the way down to the Titanic, but they went down and had problems came up. And he was saying, like, fam, we had problems in testing. There's no way it should have been taking people down there. They knew. They didn't think that this would happen, but they knew
that they shouldn't be going down. Yeah.
I'm not going to nothing that I can't open from the inside. Flat out. I'm not.
Yeah, I was about to say, but submarines, no, you can open a submarine from the inside. It's just a terrible idea. You're just going to die. You're just going to die if you do it, yeah.
I feel bad making jokes about it, but come on, man.
Yeah, let's not make jokes. Let's not make jokes.
Man.
It's still too soon, I think.
This motherfucker ain't have a bathroom.
Good point.
You about to be down there for hours with 5 other people.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Think about this. I'm a billionaire. Mm-hmm. I would assume that you live in a lap of luxury. Mm-hmm. Whatever I'm going down the ocean, it's got to have a bathroom, fam. I'm sorry. I'm sure homie don't fly coach.
Have you seen right? Have you seen the little videos, the little clips that have come out of when he was like showing some reporter guy about how it works and how big it is on the inside and all that? It looked like a joke. It looked like something that would be on like Key and Peele or something, or like the Chappelle Show or something. It didn't. It looked like it was
it had taped instructions on some of the controls. And so, like on the same podcast, Dan Le Batard show, they had a dude. So there was another dude that was going to be.
Would you go down in a submarine?
No.
Before this, would you have? Yeah.
No.
What's one of Pop's Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington and Gene Hackman? That's one of Pop's favorite movies. Yeah. I love that movie. I always like, that'd be dope. I'm sure they make a lot of money doing that. But I've always been like, no, I don't think I could do that, bro. No, bro. I don't think I could do that.
I'll put it like this, bro. Like, when I saw the inside of that thing, just imagining it closed, sped my heart up a little bit. There's no way I could have gotten that. Oh, yeah, you guys lock us in here. Because that's how I'm thinking. I'm not thinking, oh, they're closing it. I'm thinking, they're locked. We're locked in here. No way, bro. No way, bro.
No, whatever. I don't know if I said it on last episode. I don't know if this was a topic last podcast last time. No, I don't think it was. I've definitely said it in conversation. I think, and this is a bit of an extreme take, I think anything surrounding the Titanic, that sounds crazy, but I do feel this way. I think anything surrounding the Titanic and that name and everything associated is going to fail because they played with God with the initial.
It can't be sunk.
They said that's why the quote was in the movie.
Yeah.
That was a quote from multiple people that built the boat and the captain and the owner, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Not even God could sink this ship.
Look, man.
That's just how I feel. The same. It's different. It is different, but I draw the same parallel. I don't think the Clippers are ever going to do any, and I'm consistent in this. I don't think they're ever going to do any winning, and they're going to have any true success until they change the name and change the color scheme of that franchise because it's still got Donald Sterling's. That was his name, right?
Yeah.
It's still got Donald Sterling's like stain and imprint and all his bad juju or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You can't be that evil and create something and expect it to succeed. In my opinion.
I just think that. Look, man. I said this to wifey. I think that I feel like this with AI. I feel like this. Humans, we want to test the limits. I'm not saying people shouldn't explore. I'm not saying people shouldn't be adventurous, push the boundaries of technology and all this other stuff. But there's got to be some kind of cutoff.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be some kind of line that we're not going to play with. I'll put it like this. They say you go down there at a certain pressure. A human can't even just go down there and come up. You got to stop. You got to do certain things to calibrate your body before you come all the way up. You can't just go from that kind of pressure to move back above on land. We shouldn't be down there. Nothing that's in that water is for us. It might be cool to see. Y'all be playing with these animals, putting them in big old tanks. That's why these whales be playing with doing what they doing.
Yes.
Because y'all like to play around. If somebody came in your house and just started knocking stuff over, what you gonna do?
Snatching up your kids and taking them to SeaWorld. Bro, it's a great point. It's a great, bro. The sea, the ocean, and all of its creatures are revolting and fighting back, bro. I truly feel like that. You seen a whale swallow two people on the canoe and the two people that were on it. You see orca whales fully sinking ships, and it's not coincidence. They're hitting the rudder. They're hitting what makes it go.
Destroying the rudder. So even if it doesn't sink the ship, you guys are stuck where you're at. Somebody's going to have to come get you. And what do you think we're going to do to them?
I seen a lady, you could call it coincidental. I seen a lady about to go dive. She was getting off a boat, about to go diving. She's on the stairs right here. She got the goggles on. She puts her face in the water before she goes in and just starts running back up the ship. A shark was right there waiting for her to jump in the water, bro. And it came up to the boat, bro, the ocean, the sea, and all its creatures are fighting back, bro.
So, look, I'm not even gonna say it's nothing like the animals of the ocean aren't like, let's get those humans. Mm-hmm. They're saying every time I see something like that, somebody I know gets hurt or killed.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That ain't happening no more. Mm-hmm. Just like anybody else would. There was another story. I guess some fishermen or whatever took some people out. They wanted to go fishing, and this is somewhere in Florida. And I guess in this area, they're known the sharks follow the boats, the fishing boats, because they know they're going to be fishing. A bunch of fish are going to gather because they're putting bait in the water. They go get the fish. Mm-hmm. One fisherman catches a fish. They're gutting the fish, of course. He's got blood on his hands. How do you think you should clean your hands in that situation?
I'm on a fishing boat and I have blood on my hands. I'm not going to put my hands in the water. I'm probably going to find some water
He put his hand in the water, trying to clean his hands. Shark pulled him in the water. Guys, everybody out there, they can't come and hurt you. They can only touch you when you're playing in their house, bro. You know how I am about my home.
Facts.
Nobody's gonna even raise their voice in my house. I'm the only one that gets to do that. Look, our cousin lives with me. He ain't yelling in my house, though.
Right.
Like, yo. Cut it out, bro. This is my crib.
One of our former friends, that was actually the issue, one of the issues why he and I got into it. Because we were at his house, and we both were raising our voice, and he was like, bro, you yelling in my house. I'm like, but bro, you yelling at me. Mm-hmm. So how do you think that situation should go? We get like even me as your brother, we get into an argument. Not one of.
Yelled in my
I was about to say.
That is totally different than you turning up on me and leave, or you beat up. Get out of my house or get beat up. You seen how it was. Mm-hmm. The old homie, turned up in my crib, and you had to take him outside. Like, yo, he doesn't really do that. Mm-hmm. And this is our homie, like for years.
Yeah.
But it was his first time at my place. He was coming over. It was a celebratory time, but he turning up. We argued. It got a little bit out of hand. At first, it started off as a conversation. Everybody raising their voice.
He's the only one that it got out of hand for. He's a little...
No, yeah, true. But
and no disrespect. I'm sensitive. He's a little emotional. Mm-hmm. It's cool to be that, but he can't be overly emotional. He's a little overly emotional.
In the form of debate, like, look, bro, I'm a person. I raise my voice when I get hyped. I'm not saying that can't nobody do that in my house. Like, it's got to be quiet. I'm the only one that could be yelling. If we debating, hell, like, we've been yelling at each other in form of debate. Derek been on my ass.
Yeah. That's different.
It's always happened. The homies come over and happy. We talking sports, whatever it is.
That's different.
You're not turning up on me in my house, dog.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I was like, yo, bro, like, I've had enough. And you was like, take him outside. Look, bro, when you go back in, you might want to, I ain't saying you got to say sorry right now, but you might want to chill out. Mm-hmm. He's not going to do too much more of that. And I ain't no tough guy. But it's just, look, I guess you got to beat me up in here. Then I guess you can yell. Mm-hmm. But that's not going to happen.
That's a good way to get into what we were talking about. One of the other things we were talking about off camera about, like, family and friend relationships and the evolution of them and whether they're, like, I don't want to say whether or not they're healthy, but we're like, what is this relationship leading to? Like, what are we doing with this relationship? Whether it's family or friend, like, what are we doing with this relationship?
I think one of the things for me, as I get older, I think for me, like, I think the family you choose is more important than the family you have. I have an amazing family. I am fortunate in that I have a family that's together, has always been together, that's always loved each other. We've never had no huge fractures. Mm-hmm. But I think for most people don't live in proximity. Like, we live the farthest we've ever lived from each other. And we're still in the same
I was about to say, county. We live, 30 minutes away from each other?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, like, for a lot of people, they move away.
I never thought about it like that. It's interesting.
And they do that. They make whatever for work, whether it's because of just, people got to get away. Like, look, my girl moved 10 hours away from her hometown. And that's huge. She doesn't see her dad that often. But you think 10 hours, that ain't nothing. You go see him, like, nah. Mm-hmm. Once you start living your life somewhere, I think the community that you create is more important than the community that you were given. Because that's what's going to be your day-to-day support system. You know what I mean? If I were to move across the country right now, nobody can replace my family. But in an emergency, I can't go, Mike, I'm in Brooklyn, bro, I need you. Mm-hmm. That's a day at the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, like, just for me as I get older, it's not that I'm putting less emphasis on my family. It's that, like, I want to grow those relationships and I want to grow those things. Like, look, there's some things that because you're my brother and I know what's going on in your life, I may be going through something I just don't want to add to you. So I take it to somebody else. Like, I mean, for me, that's my wife. But some people don't got that. Some people, it is their best friend that they met when they started working at that restaurant, that they had to get that job when they moved to that new city and it was the first job they had, and now it's their best friend. Mm-hmm. I think a lot about that, like with our cousin, with Brandy. Mm-hmm. She went out somewhere, she started a whole new life for herself. She can't just call her sister and be like, oh, I need this, I need that. She could, and they're going to do that. But on a day-to-day basis... Yeah,
she can't call and be like, hey, come watch the kids.
I need somebody to watch my kids. So you create those relationships, and you think of like somebody like that. Somebody like Brandy. Like, you got to know that person well to leave your kids with them. So that's another form of family. And I just think that that's not most important, but that's an important thing to have, being conscious of the community and the family you're creating outside of your given family. Because like, look, I lean on my two best friends heavy. Because there's certain things that I don't want to bring to my wife, or I might be having an issue with her. You know what I'm saying? Not nothing crazy, but I might just be frustrated with her. I'm not gonna unload on her. I might talk to the homie Isaac about it. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Isaac have a standing mandate. Every other week we go get our hair cut. We might go get something to eat before. We might go get something to drink after. Whatever it is. But we know we're going to get our haircut every other week. That is our time where we spend a couple hours together. We catch up. I see how him and the baby doing, how wifey doing, all of that. We catch up. We catch each other up on the last 2 weeks. And then we get our haircut. If we go get a drink, cool. If we got time for that, cool. If we don't, we dap it up. I'll see you in 2 weeks, bro.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying? It's just
that's dope.
Cultivating that community for yourself.
You know what that reminds me of? You'll remember. I won't. You'll remember what we're talking about. This reminds me of a movie. I haven't finished it yet. I just started watching this. It's a movie with Ed Helms. He plays Andy in The Office. Who else? Who's the dude that... man, he's a really good comedian. No, it's not Kenya Burris. The dude that's responsible for, like, the whole Bill Cosby. He told a joke about Bill Cosby and then all...
I know who you're talking about, too.
Dude, I forget, but he's in the movie too. But it's about a group of like 4 or 5 friends that since they've been like 14, they've played like this big ass game of tag. And now that they're adults, they only play it in May. It's like everything's wide open in May. And one of them is getting married and he's never been tagged. And so everybody, like, say if there's 5 of them, 4 of them are like, yo, and the game's about to end. Like, after I was like, either that year or his marriage ends the game. And they're like, we can't let him in without being, we gotta get this. And this nigga's like,
that's it.
This nigga's like Jason Bourne with it, bro. They show up at his house to come and tag him, and he's like, coming 4 o'clock. And of course they putting on for it, but they make it like this nigga's the Jason Bourne of tag. Yeah. But anyway, relationships and friendships and all of that.
Oh, no. I was good. But you know what's funny? That reminds me, when I worked at the high school, when these kids play this game, and it's like, it's always the seniors.
When they tie the thing around
there.
They
got the floaties.
Yeah.
So, like, I had a couple girls, and they were seniors, they were playing that game, and I'm like, how deep is this? Because I be seeing y'all wear this stuff at work. It was like, no, bro. Like, if you don't have your floaty on, and somebody comes in, and they could spray you or do whatever, you're done. And, like, they're playing for money. Mm-hmm. The school knows they're playing for money.
Bro, I seen one. A kid was playing third base in a high school baseball game. One of his friends showed up to get him, and he just sprinted off the field. Like, you're not tagging me. I don't care about this game. You're not tagging me.
Because they're playing for real money. The kids outside of school was playing for real money. This girl, bro, one of the girls on my team, she was like, I don't go out on the weekend because I'm trying to get this money.
Wow.
She's like, if I'm out somewhere, she was like, they be getting people's work schedules. They be doing all of that.
I'm so happy you were able to bring clarity to it because I would be walking around the mall and seeing these kids walking around with floaties on their ankles and be like, what the hell is going on?
You know, I mean, some of my players have ended up like family to me. So I straight up, I was like, yo, what is this crazy shit? You know what I'm saying? They're like, no, Steph, like, this is not just a silly game for campus, and people think they're cool. Like, at least at Sample Squad, they're playing for a serious amount of money. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm talking about for a high school kid. It ain't no serious amount of money for us. But if somebody was like, yo, you're going to get $1,500 if you win this game, just for winning this silly game? Yeah, dog, I could do that.
Yeah, I'm going to take it serious, too.
I could do that, too, bro.
But I remember what I was going to say. About, like, you know, growing the family that you've chosen, but also not leaving behind the one that you were given. I guess that's not what you were speaking to, but that's what I'm choosing to speak to. Like, I definitely agree with that. The family that you choose is just as important as the family that you're given.
I agree.
Just as important. Me though, I've chosen to. Because, like, you look at some of those memes and it's like, oh, stop texting people when you see how much people don't hit you up and da-da-da. Like, I'm fully aware that, like, I love that we got our Cuzzo chat. Yeah. And on both sides of the family. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Before the Cuzzo chat, like, I remember, I want to say, before Max was born, so I want to say about, Max is 3 now, so maybe 4 years ago, I remember pulling up to Doe's house in Palmdale and feeling like, And you know how close Doe and I have always been. I remember pulling up to his house about 4 years ago and feeling like this. I haven't seen him in a long time, and it had been. Yeah. It wasn't just that like it'd been 6 months and it felt like a year. Yeah. It had been probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Mm-hmm. I remember feeling like, yo, it's been a really long time, and that should not be. Yeah. And since then, I've made it a point to make sure that I go to Palmdale. I'm going to his house just because that's just how things are now. But when I pull up to Palmdale, I'm hitting up Chill. I'm hitting up Rod. Shake live a little bit away, but I used to hit him, yo, I'm in Palmdale if you know what I'm saying? I even hit Darren, and he live in L.A., and he not finna come to Palmdale, but I hit him like, yo, like I'm, you know what I'm saying?
I've been talking to Josh, and Josh, if you see this, you've been telling me you come to San Diego for years now. Come on. But
I'm saying that to say, like, I definitely agree with that, but my cousins, though, I've chosen to make it a point to make sure that those relationships
of course
don't lack and don't fall off in any way.
No, of course. And this is one of like I've always been, I wouldn't call myself a gamer when we were kids, but I always played video games.
I think you've always been a gamer, and I think had there been online gaming as kids, you would have been a much bigger gamer.
Oh, 100%.
But you've always been a big gamer.
I've always been.
You've never been to the to extents as other people, maybe because we couldn't afford all the games that other people could, or because like your interests were like, I like this adventure game, I like this sport game, I like this football game.
And then I'm probably gonna go out the house and hoop. Yeah.
But you've always really thoroughly enjoyed video games. I would definitely say you've always been a gamer.
And I'll take that. I mean, Whitey said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of, like, outside of me liking the video game, that's one of the things that I get from video game. Like, people laugh, like, we have, like, a group chat. And people laugh when they get, like, random people that I meet online, and I just want to game with them. Mm-hmm. They die laughing once they figure out, wait, there's 25 people in here, and 15 of them are his cousins. Because, like, Darion, like, everybody's in the chat. Shay, Doe, everybody's in the chat now. Mm-hmm. So, like, the couple people that aren't family, they jump in there and be like, y'all thick, bro. Like, that's one of the great things.
Oh, I'm missing out.
I get to talk to Rodney and Shaky because I know they're going to be on at some point in the day. I get to talk to Rodney, Shaky, and Chill every single day.
That's dope.
And that, like, there's times where, like, they'll be in a game, I'll just sitting there talking, catching up with my cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get to see them as much as I want to. Mm-hmm. But I'm still glad we got that connection. Same thing, like, whenever I pull up the door, we don't miss a beat. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, like, people are going to interpret that like he's valuing this over his given family. It's not the case at all. Mm-hmm. It's not the case at all. My cousins will drop, anybody in my family will drop whatever they're doing to come help me. But to ask my cousin to leave his family to come down here for something that I could call my homie that is down the block for.
Facts.
It's silly. It's silly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and to be clear, I'd like to clarify that.
Him to leave Arizona and his wife
and I'd like to
come out here.
And I'd like to clarify that. The same thing, like, say I lived in Arizona and I needed you and I needed you for something. I know if I call you and it's you, and I was about to say this sounds like if you deem it's like, yo, I need to pull up. I know you're gonna pull up, but it's I feel like it's disrespectful to call.
It's unreasonable.
You're at it unreasonable, not disrespectful. Unreasonable to call your family out of town when you have friends that you value right here that can help you with this problem.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not like, oh, my family wouldn't do this. It's your support system. Mm-hmm. Like, we're all grown now. Everybody has their family. They got their life. They have what they're doing, right? Everybody got their friends, and everybody got the people that they talk to and deal with on a daily basis. I'll put it like this. I can't be the kind of friend I am with Joe, and I'll just use it for example because this example came to mind. I can't be the same friend that will go out of the country with Joe, and he can't call me if he need me. Mm-hmm. We made plans, spent real money, and went on vacation out of the country. Are we only vacation friends? You know what I'm saying? Or do we really have a connection that is like it bonds? Like I don't say like it's weird. Like, best friend is like a weird thing to me. Like, I just have these relationships that mean a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, my like Isaac, my relationship means a lot to me. I'm not valuing that relationship over my brother. That would never happen. But in the same breath, I think you would agree. Isaac's like a brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been through real shit with some of our homies. And if it's only like, you'll only call me in the emergency or only call me when shit is going good.
And to that point,
not a real relationship.
And to that point, it wouldn't be a disrespect to me or Derek if you needed a confidant and you called Isaac first.
Yeah.
That would not be a disrespect. And I know some people that would take it that way, but like, bro, like, you told him before you told your brother. It's like, yeah, it's. I don't mean I love you any less or I value our relationship any less.
And there's just certain things like there's certain. I talked to, like, I'll use Isaac for example because we're using him. I talked to him about certain things because I value his opinion in certain ways. And there's certain things that I might not tell you or dare because y'all biased. Y'all my brother. Y'all gonna tell me what I need to hear. But if I tell you I'm going through something with somebody, your initial reaction is to have my back. Where Isaac is one step removed from that, he could say, probably, maybe sooner, maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. But he's more inclined to have an outside opinion and be like, Steph, you're tripping. There's been times where Isaac has seen stuff that's going on in my home, and he'd be like, it ain't nothing crazy ever happened with me and my wife. But there's been times where we like may have left and got something to eat or ran to the store to go grab a bottle or whatever. We coming back to the house and go, yo, you know you was tripping, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll be like, you right, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just has that, like, one step remove. You know what I'm saying? Where he could be like, he's not looking at me like, and it's not to big me up or anything, but he's not looking at me through the lens like that's my older brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
He's looking at me like,
that's the homie.
You my nigga, right? I can tell you fucking up, right? Like, you understand that, like, I'm still your man's, but you fucking up.
Right,
like,
right.
Come on, don't do it.
If you don't have friends like that, then you don't have friends.
Yeah, 100%. All right.
You got turn up partners and you got fun time associates. Those aren't friends, bro.
Or just like,
if they can't check you or tell you when you wrong or give you some tough love, then they're not friends, bro.
This is one thing I had to notice, and this is kind of away from like just a community you're building outside of your family. But like, I've had to really look at some things. And it's like, I've had people in my life that they've pulled way more from the friendship bank than they've put in. Like, they're cool with taking my generosity when I'm up for me paying for this or doing that, or just being a friend that would, because I don't mind, because I'm like that with my friends. Like, I'll put it like this: our home with the Tuts, they don't let me know when they coming over. They might hit me when they down the block and be like, yo, I'm down the block and I pull up on you. They know it's an open door policy. You're my man. But if they were always coming over to kick it, now it just seemed like a landing place. You just need somewhere to be. Right. If they were always taking it and they would never put anything into the friendship bank, that's a relationship that I got to analyze, and this might not be the relationship that I need to have anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like as we get older, I feel like your relationships need to be like helping you maintain and protect your mental health. They need to be adding to you. I don't care what way that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's people in my life that, like, I know I'm always going to get a good laugh with them. I need that. But we're not only, it's a hard way to put this. We're not only friends because we can laugh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to need more than that. I'm 36 years old. I'm going to need more than, like, oh, we just kicking I'm married. Like, I want people that are aligned with me in the same ways. I want people around me that are like, look, man, I've had friends that I had to take a step back from because I'm not judging you. You can do whatever you want to do, but I'm not going to live my life like that anymore. I'm not saying they're doing nothing illegal. I'm not saying they're doing nothing wrong. But I'll put it like this. As a married man, it will make my wife feel a way if I had a friend that every time he called me, he trying to get me out the house. We trying to hit it. That's the only time he hit me. It'd be different. Like, if Joe called me, he's like, yo, I'm about to go out. You trying to go? Wifey wouldn't think nothing of it. But if that was the only time he hit me, she's like, what are y'all doing when y'all go out? She might question that. And I can't get mad at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that that's wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want to move different. I want to move different. I think I want more from my relationships than that shit. Even my relationships with my parents. I don't want to just be told what to do. I don't want just your advice. You know what I'm saying? I don't want just your advice and your love. Like,
that's
how
actually...
I deal with mom and dad is like, I want some semblance of like friendship in that. You're always my parent. There's times where I go over the house, ain't nobody there but mom and dad, and I got real questions. I'm asking hard stuff about how to be a better man. Dad, how'd you do this? You did this for a long time successfully, bro. He had 3 kids in the house, bro. I got none, and I'm stressing. How did you do X, Y, and Z? And there's other times where I just want to go to dinner and have laughs over a table. I don't need no advice. I don't need no preacher. I don't need none of that. I just want to have this adult relationship where we could sit down and break bread. You know what I mean? Or whatever, and then not have to be parental. You know what I mean?
That's what I really and truly love that about my relationship with both mom and dad. It's so like, it's just everything I need it to be. They're parents when they need to be. They're friends when they need to be. We just kick it. We just laugh. We talk about, like, me and mom, like, send each other shows and movies and stuff to watch. Like, me and Pop was just talking about, like, working out. Pop down, like, 25 pounds. We just talking about working out, like, different things we could do. And I was telling him how dope I think it is and how proud I am of him. Like, I really, truly...
Man, Dad got me in the...
Love
in the gym,
me
bro.
too. He got me back. He got me back on my push-ups and sit-ups, bro.
I got a gym membership. I've been in that joint.
Homie is faithful, bro.
I'm trying to build up to it. I'm trying to build up there every day.
We stayed the weekend at his house, bro. He gets up. Normally he gets up 5 o'clock in the morning and works out. But you know, we sleeping at the house now. We all in his way, so he can't work out. So he got up early, stepped over us when did his Uber, did his whatever he do, Uber, Lyft, I forget which one he does. Came back, ate some lunch, went on the patio and got to it and be out there like, like he not out there being a weenie about it. He out there getting to it. He out there getting to it. And then he came in and was talking about it and was like, yeah, I used to come home from work exhausted. And he was already on the couch. He was like, I would sit right here, watch TV until dinner was done, eat my dinner, clean myself up, go pass out, and do it all again the next day. He was like, that's just not the life I want to live. He was like, I got 2 grandkids. I don't want to be playing with them when I play with them for 2 minutes. I'm like, oh, good, give Grandpapa a break. I'm tired now. He was like, no, I want to be able to play with my grandkids. I want to be able to come home from work and still have a full day ahead of me, or come home from church and have a full day ahead of me. Like, I was like, Pop, like, you got me ready to work out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm not going to hold you.
I've done push-ups and sit-ups every day since I left him because of just watching him, like, and how dedicated he is to it.
I'm not going to hold you. When you had Baron, and I feel like I'm young. People tell me I'm old, whatever. I feel like I'm young. And that's something that I thought about. I'm like, dang, like, I got a nephew now. Like, a nigga got to be in some kind of shape. Like, this nigga, like, I look at, like, I ain't gonna have no kids. So I look at my nephews, your kids, and I look at Joe's kids, like, I gotta be able to keep up with them at least for another 20. So I guess I gotta take care of myself. Like, I ain't saying I was letting go or nothing like that, but, like, I mean, you know, I had a goal to be faster than the average high school kid till I was 40. I'm pulling up on that, and I'm still doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just another step up. I'm like, hold on. Mom told us Pops is doing 200 sit-ups a morning? Fam, I'm putting in 250.
I think he said, I'm
putting in 250.
I think he said he does eight sets of 25. I think he said, I was like, okay, check you out, Pop. But I don't want to leave it because I might forget. That's something you and wifey talked about? Y'all not having kids now?
We're still out of no. We ain't throwing it just out the window. No, we not doing that. But I'll put it like this. We haven't talked about, like, having or not having kids. We talked about the life that we want to live. And is that conducive to children? You know what I mean? Like, the older we get, the more we want to travel. Like, you know, we've been a few places, and we want to kick that up a notch. So, like, as we start making more money, like, we've even talked about is eventually buying a house smart for us. because the way we want to travel, the stuff we want to be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we want to be able at some point, like when we get closer to retirement age, we want to be like, you want to live in Bali for a year?
Mm-hmm.
Having a mortgage is really not conducive to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we haven't said no, and I'm not gonna hold you. When you guys had Baron, and when Joe and Jamia had Lil Joe, I was like, that looked fire, bro. I could do that. I could be a dad like that. Like, cause I view y'all like y'all cool dads. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all niggas still look away.
Appreciate
y'all
that.
Y'all niggas still dress away. You know what I mean?
Appreciate
like, y'all
that.
doing it. Y'all doing fatherhood look good on y'all. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I think I'm just a cool uncle, dog.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just a cool uncle. I think I'm a good uncle, or at least
Absolutely you are. Absolutely you are.
But I think I'm just a cool uncle. Like right now, where I'm like, here's the big thing for me. Two. One, in my mind, I've never, and I think I've told you this before. Like, my happily ever after, there was never kids in that picture. When I closed my eyes and thought about what my life would look like, when I found the love of my life and what that would eventually look like, there wasn't kids involved. It was me and my girl doing whatever we wanted to do. And then the second thing would be, and I've heard other people talk about this, and maybe you could speak to this. I'm not sure I want to share my wife like that, and that's 100% selfish. I don't know if I want to share my wife like that. Like,
you definitely have to share.
Yeah, like I am like, look, Darius in Cancun right now, so it's just wifey.
Big up to Cuzzo.
It's just wifey and I in the house. They went on a family trip, like all of them.
Oh, okay. That's still.
So, like, just waking up and like, me and my wife work from home, and just us being there and like, I don't know. The only way I can explain it, and people look at me sideways when I say it, I was like, I just don't want to share. I just don't want to share. And I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and I've heard a lot of men say that like they've literally had to. I heard one guy put it. I forget his name. But his podcast is called The Basement. He said he literally, when they had their first child, he's an older guy. He said he literally had to mourn not having his wife in the same way anymore. He said in his mind, he definitely knew that he wanted to have more kids. He said, I need to jump this hurdle before we have another one, because I'm upset because I don't have her in the same way. Her attention is other places. The child needs me too at times where I'm typically used to having my wife.
See, that was never a thing for me. I think maybe because of...
I think you was just so ready.
I was so ready, and I think also because of what I studied in school and being a preschool teacher, and I saw parents with small children and what that looks like. I knew unequivocally that having a kid meant that my wife's attention was going to be elsewhere. Like, I knew that. It was definitely, it was more than I thought. And you know, Keish went through some things when she had Baron. Like she already like needs her ducked off time where she's just by herself. But just like after having a kid, and you're everything for this kid, like you're how they fall, being the mom, you're how they fall asleep, you're how they eat, their entire you're all they know, they come from you. And so it's like to be attached to this new body damn near 24/7. She was like completely like, and this is a term that I think a therapist or a doctor gave her, like completely touched out. To the point where like, she's at like after Baron's born, Baron's 5 months, I'm coming home expecting, and you gotta like put yourself in my shoes, like bro, it's so heartbreaking. Like coming home from work, it's like, oh yeah, you know me, I couldn't wait to be married and have my bed, like my wife and my girl at the crib. I'm coming home from work, like I'm coming home to my everything. And I'm coming home from like working, I'm telling my coworker, and I'm working teaching at a preschool with all women, mind you. I'm telling them, like, I can't wait to get home and get to my girl and get home to my wife. And I had a boy off the rip. I'm like, I can't wait to get home to my girl and my son. I'll never forget, bro, coming in the crib, and I walk in the door expecting, like, yeah, honey, I'm home. I walk in, and she's in the kitchen, bearing in a little thing, and she looked at me, didn't say a word, and just went back to what she was doing. I was like,
man. Yeah.
I go over there to like give her one of these from behind because she out there in the kitchen doing whatever she's doing. Give her one of these from behind, try to kiss her. She's like, oh, no. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and it was such a like, yo, like I don't.
You know
This is gonna take some adjusting.
You know what's funny? Like me and wifey, we talk about like, because everybody needs their space, and I'm not, and adding a kid to the mix probably amplifies that. I wouldn't know. I don't have kids, but like me and wifey have talked about like, yo, there's times when I need my space. Like you've been in my house. The back room is a game room now. When I'm in there in that chair, it's to be left alone.
And you know what's funny, bro?
When she's in the room in her bed, when she's in the room in our bed with a book, or she's on her laptop and she got her headphones on, that is to be left alone. Like it ain't time to get no cuddles, ain't time to get no kiss, ain't no free time, none of that. I'm in here. You see I'm doing something? This is for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs that, and I think it's just amplified when you have a kid. Like I said, 36 years old, I don't think I'm ready.
And see, that was tough for me because we can move on to the next topic in a minute. That was tough for me because one of my main love languages is physical touch, and then one of Keisha's main love languages is quality time. But like she needs her like. I'm sorry. She needs her like quality time like alone.
Yeah.
So it's like
quality time don't necessarily mean together.
Yeah. Quality time could mean quality time together, or you allow me the space to have quality time alone. Mm-hmm. That's also a part of it.
It's important.
And so that was tough for sure. That was tough. Took some getting used to for sure. And I've told several people that like I had to learn how to enjoy alone time, which is I love it.
And we're totally different in that.
I cherish it so much because I come from now.
Yeah.
I cherish it so much now, but before I come from, my house has never been empty. I got two brothers. Mm-hmm. You had like time, especially like becoming a teenager. Like you had time when you was like you didn't want to be bothered. I want to be in my room. I want to play this PlayStation. I want to listen to my R&B music, and I don't want nobody to bother me.
I was closing the door on the rest of the house.
Yes. He's like, I don't want to...
The whole family in the living room. I'm in my room with the door closed. I'm mad at one of our parents opening the door. I'm like, yo, what are you doing?
It's like, I don't even want to be bothered. So I get it. But I come from... But I also always had Derek. Yeah. And I come from... Our house was like... And I was talking about this on the last podcast. Our house was... Like, just have everybody come over here, mom and dad being who they are in the church and not really trusting other people's homes. And if I ain't met your parents, I don't know them, so I can't trust them. So everybody come over here, whether it was Adam, DeAndre, Anthony Perry, Eldrick, my friends, turned into Jesse, Kevin, Isaac, Anthony, Raheem. Didn't matter. All of our friends were always at the house. So I was never alone. I had two brothers that one of them, if I couldn't kick it with you, I kick it with D. If I couldn't kick it with D, I can kick it with you. And on top of that, I always had at least one other friend in the home, whether it was Jesse, Kevin. I always had Anthony, Raheem. I always had one other friend in the home. So I never had to be by myself. And then so when I got married, it was like, and she very, very, very much values and enjoys her alone time. So it took some real getting used to, like, bro, I got to sit in here by myself? I got to play video. I got to watch a movie by myself? Like, this is what? It took some real getting used to, bro.
Like, there's
I cherish it so much now. Like, I love being alone now. But early on, it took some adjusting for sure.
But where do you think we should go from there? I was looking at the topics. I was like, I ain't got a smooth segue. I'm out of form. I'm not in form. I ain't done this in a minute.
I feel it. I got you.
I wasn't never the best segue.
I'm still not good at them. I had a whole like a breakdown of how I wanted it to go, but it's cool. We solid. What you think of the? And I'm probably gonna have to do my edit and piece it together in a nice way anyway. What do you think of the NBA draft?
I thought it was predictable. I thought that, look, for me, it was 3 players. I know probably out to 10. But for me, it was 3 players. They're like, these are kind of can't miss guys. I was telling Rodney and I was telling Darius, Michael Jordan sold the team. I want to see what he's going to do. and he didn't disappoint. Keep that track record alive, Mike. Pass up on the generational point guard. Go ahead, nigga. Go ahead, nigga. Keep the track record alive, bro. You're not that good at this. It's cool. It's cool. And I'm not saying, look, I think Brandon Miller is going to be very, very good. Mm-hmm. But if Scoot is what he's supposed to be, he's going to be one of those.
Yeah.
You don't pass on that guy. Yeah. You figure it out. LaMelo can play the 2. He wants to shoot it anyway. I personally would play him at the 2.
I wouldn't. He's too great with the ball in his hands to have him play the 2, bro.
But you're not giving it up to give it to somebody like a workman point guard. This is the hand of Tyler Ulis from back in the day. The ball.
I haven't seen much of Scoot. I'm only going off like the little bit that I've seen and everything that everyone seems to love him. Can he play the 2?
He's 6'2". He can.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But this is the crazy thing. You know, and this is funny. So I mean,
Iverson was 5'10".
We'll talk about Wembanyama and all that. But you know, you might be the only person that could vouch for me on this.
Okay.
But I was saying this before John Wall was in the NBA. Remember, I was like, wait till he figures it out. It might take a year or two.
Yes.
But when you could put that kind of speed and I always look at John Wall like, look at his ability with the ball. Mm-hmm. Like, forget how fast and athletic he is. He's that with a ball in his hand. Scoot's the same way. He might be more athletic.
I was going to say, can he shoot it? John Wall can never really shoot it like that.
Scoot's jump shot was much improved from his first year in the G to his second year in the G, and people are going to project that it's going to get better, especially with the emphasis on...
So he's a 2-year G League guy?
Yeah, he was in the G for 2 years. And the homie's still 19. I think he turned 20. He either barely turned 20 or he's like about to turn 20 like before the season started. He's young. But we'll talk about that situation in a second when we talk NBA. But Wembanyama, I told you a little bit before when we thought about like, I think that you can't miss. You cannot be the team that did not draft him number 1, but I'm not saying dude's a scrub. I'm not saying that at all. I think defensively, he's going to be one of the best defensive bigs in the league day one, right away. Length like that, it changes things. It just does. But Son shot 27% from the 3 in the French league. I don't think he has the skills that Bol has, like ball handling. I don't think he's as fluid with them. I think he has the skills. I don't think he's as fluid with them. And I don't want the 7'3" guy running up and down the court like that. I think he's going to have issues.
Is he going to be who everyone expects him to be? That's the big question.
No.
I don't think so either.
Because I think, look, bro.
He going to be better than Chet?
I got to see Chet. I got to see him on the NBA court first. I don't feel comfortable saying that. If I seen him, look, I'll put it like this.
I'm saying based off what we've seen from both of them. We haven't seen Scoot on the NBA court.
I told you what I thought about that.
What pick was Chet? Was he number 1?
I think Chet was a 2 pick.
So they're both number 2. Oh no, one's number 2, number 3.
Look, I'll put it like this. I say Wembanyama's not going to hit where people think he's going to be because they're putting the expectation too high. Literally, I heard on a sports podcast, if he isn't, they said the ceiling for him is Kevin Durant or better. And they said the floor for him is Anthony Davis. The floor? You know how good you could be an all-star every year and not be Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is an all-world talent. They said he has higher expectation than LeBron James.
No, that's
the bar's too high.
No, that's just not true. That's not true.
If we kept everything in perspective, if Victor Wembanyama is for the next 15 years in the NBA, an all-star level player that could be the the first or second best player on your very good team, expectations are met. Stop giving him player comps because there's nobody you've ever seen like him, and just hope he could be close to what you think he could be. I'm not with putting player comps on guys. Like they say Brandon Miller's Paul George. There's not 10 motherfuckers in the NBA better than Paul George.
Right.
Look, some of you hoop heads, y'all gonna disagree. I'll go to 15 for you. Whatever. There's not 15 players in the NBA better than Paul George. So Brandon Miller has to be a top 15 player? Paul George ain't pop up on the scene. He been doing this for a while.
Right.
That's Brandon Miller's player comp. I think if Brandon Miller has 3-4 contracts with the Hornets, you win on the pick. That means you didn't have to trade him. That means he wasn't a bust. If he's a starter for you for 10, I always say this about players, so you can vouch for me. If he's a starter on your team for 10 years, you've won, bro. You won, bro. He's had 2-3 contracts with you. What you want? What do you want? You want him to be... This is the problem teams always have. They're looking for the next LeBron James. They're looking for the next Kevin Durant. There's no other Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was 30 points a game in college. Coming out. You knew he would always be a bucket. If he was never the first or second best player in the league, which he did eventually get there. But if he was never that, you knew... What was the floor for Kevin Durant? A 20-a-night score?
I was about to say 22, 23 points a night.
Let's say he couldn't ever play defense. He couldn't ever stay healthy enough to get on the court. He would have been a 6-man off the bench. Lighting motherfuckers on fire. I don't think that's a bust. Lou Williams might go to the Hall of Fame with that kind of career. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just depends on where your expectation is of a player. But I don't think Wembanyama could hit the ceiling that he wants. But, we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Because Scoot went to Portland, and that's your man's.
Damian Lillard is my favorite player.
We were talking about this in the cut.
Damian Lillard is my favorite player.
What should Dan do, bro?
He should leave.
We know what he talked about now because it came out. But what should he want?
He should leave.
I agree.
He should leave.
I agree. That's where we agree at. I think that's where the agreement stops.
Yeah, yeah.
He should want him out of there.
He should leave.
As soon as they got the 3 pick, I'd be like, yo, trade me.
No. If they weren't going to use that 3rd pick and some of the assets that they already have on the team to try to bring a running mate in for Dame, then... But no. After you've used the pick, no, you got to move Dame now.
I think once you get the pick, like, I just put it like... You know I'm a nerd about this stuff, like the business of basketball. Like, I literally listen to a podcast that is dedicated to the business of sports. There's never been a team in the history of team sports that has gotten in the position that Portland's in, like a 3 pick. There's an all-world talent there, and they've not done what's in the best interest of the franchise. Mm-hmm. Think about this. You're good enough to pick the generational player. That means we weren't very good last year. So I'm going to not pick this player, or I'm going to trade this pick to try to bring somebody in here to what? Get in the play-in? Be a 6 seed? No. I'm scrapping this whole thing and I'm going to start over. I promise you there's somebody in Portland that's like, would Dame just ask for a fucking trade? So we could trade his ass?
But who is that somebody though? Like at this point, I don't.
It's a GM. It's somebody that has to look at the roster objectively.
We're
never going to be good enough to be as good as he wants us to be while he's on this roster. We got Anthony Simons, we got Shaedon Sharp, we got all of these young guys that project to be good.
Do you think there's potential that the Portland front office wants to move on from Dame, but they're not sure if he wants to move on? Do you think that's a potential reality?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No. It's a relationship where both people know this is over, but they do care about each other. Mm-hmm. They do care about each other. Dame doesn't want to be like, F y'all. He loves Portland. And the team don't want to be like, we going to just do like we do any other player because he ain't any other player to them. They care about him. Mm-hmm. He's been a shining star. He's the best player that the franchise ever had. I ain't no disrespect. But he's the best player that franchise has ever had.
He's better than Clyde.
I agree. But look, some old people are going to get at it. But he's the best player they've ever had. They love him. They want him to retire a trailblazer. Do it at the end of his career. Sign him for 10 days and let him have a ceremony. But do what's best for him, even though it'd be against his will, because he don't want to leave. But he will appreciate it once he's on a team like Miami that's got a shot. I'll put it like this.
I just don't understand. Like,
people look. It was good for Chris Paul to go to the finals and lose.
How so?
At least he got there one time. At least he had a run where he made it. Chris Paul is stamped. The end of his career getting traded around, hurt and all that, it don't look good. But we ain't going to remember that when we talk about Chris Paul when he done playing. We're going to talk about the outstanding point guard that upgraded every team he ever been on and made Tyson Chandler an all-star. Made DeAndre Jordan a household name. We're going to talk about that guy. But for him to never, ever win or never, ever have a serious run, we was clowning him when he was a Clipper and couldn't get out the second round.
Yeah.
We was clowning him. Because that team should have done more. It was good for him to have a run, and even if they lost to the Bucks, to lose. Dame needs a run like that. Even if he doesn't win one, I'm going to kill him if he leave and don't win because of what he was saying. And that's what I was trying to explain to you when we were talking. I'm just using what he said against him. If this is going to be your stance, when you leave, people going to talk shit, bro. You better win. People talk shit about Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant is going to hold up them fingers.
Win it all, or?
No, because he ain't on the same level
but
as
make
Kevin
it to
Durant.
the finals.
Kevin Durant had to get rings. Dame don't got to. But he needs to. I'll put it like this. Me and Rodney were talking
Well,
about.
I mean, he'd have to make it to the finals because he's been to the conference finals.
No. I don't think he has to make it to the finals. He has to be competitive more consistently. He needs to have a shot.
Okay.
Even when he made the conference finals, nobody thought Portland was going to win a championship.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Or even make it to the finals.
I'll put it like this. He needs to be playing meaningful games. Dame's season should not be stopping after 82. Dame's season should not be stopping after round 1 or round 2.
Do you think it's his fault that it has been?
No.
Okay.
And it don't matter.
Okay.
Because we don't care whatever happened to Chris. Chris Paul was outstanding everywhere he went. We don't care.
I disagree. It's a big if, and he was never going to do it, obviously, because of what he eventually did. The only comparison we have is KG. If KG would have stayed in Minnesota the whole time, we would have said KG is silly for not leaving, but they never put what he needed around him. Yes or no?
I don't think so. We would have said KG. We would have did what we did to Charles Barkley. He's a great player that never got it done. Charles Barkley is one of the 50 greatest players to ever play basketball and gets clowned by a nigga like Draymond Green that ain't half of him.
Fair.
Because he won and Chuck didn't.
Fair. So if Dame never leaves, will he be a great player that just never got it done?
Yeah, but we talk about them a certain way, and they're left out of certain conversations.
Like what? Only the champion conversations.
No. I'll put it like this. Dame ain't Charles Barkley.
He's not.
Charles Barkley is stamped. He was one of them dudes.
He was the league MVP.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you're not an MVP, like the comp I think I gave you one time we were talking about in the Cuzzo chat was Reggie Miller. Right? Reggie Miller's left out of certain conversations. We're not going to mention him with the best players that ever played. But we don't talk about him like shit. We don't clown him like Charles Barkley. Because he had a run. He was always competitive. And we kind of feel like he wasn't ever really going to win one anyway. If Dame is as good as people make him up to be, and like I said, a lot of this has to do with what he said. If Dame never says that, I feel differently about him.
It's fair.
Fam, you can't, like I'll look at it like this. Rodney put this thought in my head. You can't have it all. You can't be the motherfucker that don't want to leave, gonna hold it down and go talk about people that do leave. Want the big contract, but don't want none of the expectation and don't want to win. You can't have it all. Either you're that good, so you better be winning. Because Kobe couldn't just be out there putting up buckets. Kobe ain't getting no championship. Like, that nigga's a ball.
This might be taking the conversation, this might be a big left turn, but that's how I've always felt about KD. Like, you can't have it both ways, bro. Like, he left and joined the Warriors and expected to not be criticized and for people to not say anything and for his championships and his winning to be weighed and looked at the same as everyone else's, and that's just not the case.
Well, I'll say this for Kevin Durant. For Kevin Durant, it was a lot about. It looked a lot like LeBron going to Miami. I need to guarantee that I got a shot to win, so I could put on in them big moments. Because as good as I am, the numbers and everything that I'm putting up, it can't be devoid of a championship, bro. It cannot be devoid of a championship. You still be looked at as that guy. That's why I say it's different for Dame.
It still just looks. To me, it's always still going to look like the easy way. Because for me, it's like go to the East and knock off LeBron and get to the finals, or like you just made it to the Western Conference Finals and where you was at.
No, look,
talk to your front office. We need this. We need that. And we gonna knock the Warriors off. Not go join them.
I agree. I agree with you.
I'm not trying to have that argument.
No. Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with you, and I'll just put it in. I'll put it in perspective. Like for Dame, like I would say, Dame, people are going to talk no matter what. If you stay in Portland, you are never going to get close. If you leave and get close, don't let them win one.
What's close? He's never going to make it back to the Western Conference Finals in Portland? Because he made it there once?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think that's true. I think that's true.
I'll put it like, this is the way I'll put it. Like, at least for Dame, like I said, he doesn't need rings. He just needs to be competitive or closer than he's been. I think Dame is the most clutch player in the NBA right now. Put him in some of them moments that these other guys falter, and I feel like he gonna get it done.
Facts.
But he's never in those situations, so we don't know. I'm not assuming nothing. I gotta see it. Right? Like for Kevin Durant. I would say for Kevin Durant, if he was sitting in here right now, he'd be like, niggas can say whatever they want, bro. Look at my numbers, and I got rings. You can say whatever you want, but 20 years from now, when he's done playing, nobody's going to be like, yo, that Warriors shit, come on, man. Of course he won. Niggas going to be like, yo, that nigga put up 35, he busted a shot on Bron ass. That nigga got 2 rings out the deal. That's it. That's what people are going to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going to talk about how he left OKC, and then we're going to talk about he eventually won. Look at these numbers. He's an all-time great, and he has 2 rings. He's in certain conversations. Boom. That's not the same thing for Dame. But I think for Dame to be in that conversation of, like, look, bro, I don't agree with Damian Lillard being a top 75 player. I don't agree with that. I think I can name 2 off the top right now that should be there before him. And I feel like
I can too, but I don't know if that means that he shouldn't be there.
Like how I feel. Because I feel like everybody on that top 75 list, like they put out a stat that Kobe's the only person to win a championship without a top 75 teammate. Pau Gasol should be on that list.
Because he won?
Because his numbers are crazy, and because he's a champion. Dwight Howard wasn't on that list. Why is he not on that list?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, Dwight Howard should be there well before Powell, if you ask me.
I agree with that.
So to just I don't want to say recklessly, but to just say that Powell should be there. It's like, we can't just say that. We can't just say that.
Powell put up numbers everywhere he was prior to being with Kobe. Right? He doesn't have the esteem of one of the all-time great bigs. Right? And that's what I think would keep him out of most people's argument.
Do you think Powell should be there before Dame?
Yeah. Because he won. Pau Gasol was the second best player on the championship team. And has numbers. If he didn't have numbers, if he didn't have status.
Jamal Murray's the second best player on the championship team. He top 75?
No.
So that's what I'm saying. You can't just say that.
He hasn't done enough. Powell's career is over. We've seen what he did.
Touche.
We've seen it all. Jamal Murray got to do more. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jamal Murray been hurt. Look, I'll put it like this. If from the bubble, if Jamal Murray would have been playing like that from that time till now and won a ring, then yeah.
And I'm just arguing.
Maybe.
I'm just arguing to argue now. Who's the second best player on the on Hakeem's Rockets? Should he be there? If he's not, who was the second best player on those teams?
Otis Thorpe? No. Otis Thorpe wasn't the second best player. Hakeem. That was Hakeem. Kelly Smith. No. Hakeem might be the only. Hakeem didn't win with his 75 greatest player. He didn't have a 75 greatest player running mate. Yeah. Hakeem don't get enough respect either, but that's totally separate from what we talking about. I don't think Bronny is a surefire one and done. I think on name recognition he's a surefire one and done, but like what LeBron is saying, like,
nah, I agree with you.
And other NBA players vouch for him. Maybe Bronny does have more skills when you're looking at age, ability, potential, and all that. Maybe he is better in that case than a lot of NBA players or some like lower level NBA guys, but I'm just of a different school of thought. I like Ready Rock. I know all your potential, all that shit is cool, bro, but I like Ready Rock.
He does.
A man from San Diego State that just got they got drafted. Who'd he get drafted to?
Adam Seiko. Is that what you talking about?
I believe so.
He went to the Warriors.
Yeah, homeboy. Mm-hmm. He could play right now. Yeah. I'm not saying that he could be heavy minutes, right, but you know he gonna make jump shots.
He can contribute right now.
Yeah, you know he could defend. You know what he could do. I'm not a big Me and dude I used to coach with, the not that dude, the big homie.
Okay.
We always talked about like everybody's trying to find a star. Mm-hmm. Everybody's trying to draft on potential. And you look at the best teams, nobody thought Steph Curry was going to be Steph Curry. You may have thought he was going to be good, but you didn't think he was going to be what the hell he is right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? There's only one LeBron James every 20 years?
If that.
So all you niggas trying to find a star is cool. If Wemby ends up being a star, cool. But you ain't never seen a draft where it was like the 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 pick were all them dudes. So the rest of y'all, instead of looking for a star and hunting for a star, mm-hmm. you might as well fill your roster up with dudes that can contribute. Like the Clippers tried that. After they got their guys, they tried to fill their roster up with guys. They just got 2 guys that can't stay healthy. But if the Clippers are fully healthy, dog, they have games where Norman Powell doesn't play heavy minutes. He is a rotational NBA player.
Bro.
He's hella good.
Jerry West was on Paul George podcast and told him to his face. And we got to get off basketball talk. We've been on basketball for a minute. But Jerry West told Paul George to his face, he said, guys like you, as talented as you and Paul George playing half the season is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like straight up.
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said Paul George.
My bad. He told Paul George, guys like you and Kawhi Leonard playing half the season is just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was like, bro, like.
That's real.
That's why you gotta love the old niggas, man.
Yeah, that's old niggas right or wrong, they gonna tell you exactly how they feel, bro.
Remember when Quincy Jones was wilding a few years ago? They just the old niggas just gonna give it up, bro.
Except except Scottie Pippen. He ain't gonna give it up straight. His emotions is gonna dictate. I ain't mad at you, Scotty, but you taking it out on the wrong people. It ain't Mike's fault unless you know he done stick this son on your baby mama.
Listen, that's gonna take me on a whole nother tangent. So let's not even go down there. We didn't had enough sports talk. Let's pivot away from that.
Yo, Scotty, cut them braids and and stop talking about Mike, dog.
Did you see I believe the mother and the son? So there's a 14-year-old boy was sitting in the car. I believe he was in New York. His mom was getting in the store in an altercation with a man. She texts him while heated words are being exchanged. Like, yo, go grab that and just bring it in here. This nigga, you know what I'm saying?
Our 14-year-old son.
Her 14-year-old son. Her son was sitting in the car. She's licensed to have it, licensed to carry, licensed to have it in the car, everything. Yeah. Get into an altercation with a grown man, with a man in the store. Yeah. And she texts her son while the altercation is going on, like, hey, yo, this nigga, like, hey, bring that in here.
Guy in here tripping, bring that thing.
And she ended up being right.
She's gangster.
Dude ended up beating her up, like, full on punching her like a man, like she's a man. Her 14-year-old son
comes. Any niggas putting hands on women is suckers, bro.
If you like any man that puts his hand on a woman, like Big Bro said, is a sucker. She put her hands on you.
Other names, but I'm trying to use
facts.
Names, yeah.
She puts her hands on you. Remove yourself from the situation. Don't put your hands on her.
In the store, what y'all really getting into it over?
So they get into it. She tells her son, yo, bring that in here. By the time he gets in there, he walks in and sees this grown man serving grown man punches to his mom.
Else in the store doing?
He shoots him in the back. He walks in, shoots Buddy in the back. Dude takes off running out the store. He follows him out the store and finishes him off.
The kid?
The 14-year-old son. So you know there's going to be a lot of trauma with him. Keep him, I don't know his name. Keep him in your prayers. But he, if I'm not mistaken, he and his mom get locked up. All charges eventually get dropped.
Charges got dropped?
All charges eventually get dropped.
My response to that was look, bro.
Like he's going to get a murder charge. Is that what your response was to?
I was
no,
like,
charges were dropped.
That they were going to lock this young man up. Because shooting somebody and then following them when they're fleeing is crazy. Like, anybody that owns a gun, you need to look up the laws in your state, and that didn't happen in Cali.
No.
Okay, yeah.
I believe it was
that.
New York. I believe it was New York. Let me pull it up.
You can't shoot a nigga to come in your house in the back in Cali. That's wild.
Charges dropped against mother and son in deadly West Pullman shooting. Video shows man punching woman.
So this gentleman died.
Mm-hmm.
Because the life was lost, I'm not gonna say he got what he deserved.
This was in Chicago.
I don't know their gun laws like that, but
nope, that's a different story. Hold on, let me find what I'm looking for. That might not have been Chicago.
Yeah, like I was saying, that I don't know if just because by law they can't. I don't know if in California they could even let that fly even if they wanted to because they set a deadly precedent out here.
Yeah, it was Chicago. Yep, it was Chicago.
Like I said, I don't know their gun laws, but I'm not mad. Like that young man's gonna need a lot of therapy and a lot like taking a life. I ain't never took a life. I hope I'm never in a situation where I have to do that. But to save your mother, anybody would. I'm not mad at them for dropping the charges. I maybe want to mandate it that young man need to go have counseling and you know what I'm saying. Doing that like it ain't natural to take a life. You know what I'm saying? That ain't natural. That ain't like eating or breathing.
Says a Chicago woman who was arrested for murder after allegedly ordering her 14-year-old son to shoot a man dead in a fast food eatery was freed Monday after prosecutors dropped the charges against her and the teen. We'll leave her name out. Well, it's in this report, so I'll read her name. Carlisha Hood, 35 years old, and her son have both been charged with first-degree murder last week, June 18th, after the shooting death of Jeremy Brown, who was 32 years old, at a hot dog joint in Chicago. Hood and Brown had gotten into picking up a glizzy. Hood and Brown had gotten into an argument while waiting for food and the mother allegedly texted her son who was waiting in the car to come help her. The young teen has been accused of gunning down the man with his mother's firearm at her order. However, new evidence came to light over the weekend that made Cook County State's attorney reconsider the charges. I don't
like how that's worked.
I don't either.
No, I was coming to my mother's aid.
It says, based upon our continued review and in light of emerging evidence, today the Cook County State's Attorney Office has moved to dismiss the charges against Clarisha Hood and her 14-year-old son.
And it's not like, look.
They were held on $3 million bond. Good thing they dropped the charges. Good golly, they were never going to get out.
Well, and this the crazy part. Even saying that, like, she called him in here to do this, it's like I can see why the charges. Like, just thinking about it in my brain, how this rationalizes to me is, if I'm a prosecutor, I have a lot to prove. I have to prove that she told her son to come in here and gun him down, not just bring the gun. Because by the time he got here, I was already getting the hell beat out of me by a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're asking my son not to defend me. What he supposed to do? Slide me the gun? This not a movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't really work like that. Once it started, something has to happen. Either he was going to, maybe to the boy, kill her, or that's why my reaction was like that. Like, you shot him, he ran, and then you followed him and shot him again.
Bro.
But that's why I was like, dang, they going to put this boy behind bars.
I would have never been in this situation because my parents are together to this day, and they've always been together for the extent of my life. But let's say me and my mother have had several outings when it was just me and her at laundromats where she had to defend me, and I'll just leave it at that. If mom would have texted me, grab that and bring it in here. Let's say she didn't say, yo, this, that, and the third is going on. Grab the gun and come in here.
Mother text her son, come in here and shoot something.
Right. Yeah. Right. I believe that she said, grab that and grab my gun.
He probably said something.
Listen.
Oh,
I believe that the mom said, I don't know, I haven't read enough into the story, but I believe that the mom said, grab my gun and come in here. because he wouldn't have grabbed the gun without her
100%.
saying to do so.
100%.
I believe that the mom said, grab my gun and come in here. I believe he grabbed the gun and walked into the store and seen a grown-ass nigga beating on his mom and opened fire. And then he shot the nigga and he ran outside and he followed him outside and finished him off.
I will say this.
That's what I believe.
This is a side.
And I salute young bro. He's gonna be in my prayers, as he's gonna need a lot of therapy and a lot of whatever you want to call it. A 14-year-old boy took a life. He's gonna need a lot of help and a lot of therapy. My thoughts and prayers are with him, but I thoroughly believe he did what he was supposed to do.
Yeah. And
don't play silly games. You won't win silly prizes, bro.
Yeah.
I don't want to say silly, stupid. Don't play stupid games. You won't win stupid prizes, bro. Don't put your hands on no woman.
Look, man.
Don't put your hands on no woman.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be morbid, but when I got married, and I was already living with my wife before we got married.
Mm-hmm.
I put myself in the mindset that if somebody comes in here with the intent to harm, I'm gonna have to take a life. I never thought that as a child.
Good point.
I never thought that at 14.
Good point.
Even when I would see somebody bucking up to mom or whatever, I was like, in my brain, I'm gonna knock this nigga out. I'm not thinking I'm gonna kill somebody. I'm gonna get him off my mama. I'm gonna get her out of here, and then that's gonna be the end of that. You don't put your mind on killing nobody when you a kid. He had a reaction to defending his mom.
I was gonna say I've never thought about,
but I've definitely thought that as a husband, and you know what I'm saying. Like I said, as soon as I started living with a woman, this was the woman I intended to marry. I was thinking, if somebody come in here to harm her, I'm gonna do what I have to do.
Come in here in your home.
No, that's what I'm saying. They came in here, and I'm gonna do what I have to do, including, if need be, take a life. You know what I'm saying? No child is thinking that.
Right.
No child is thinking that.
Right.
No child is thinking
That's
that.
the point I was getting at.
Yeah.
You're not thinking. You're like me. You know, I've always been an extreme mama's boy. Like, I never played like that at school. Like, you do the mama jokes. I've never played like that. We could joke. You could, and this might sound a way.
That's gross.
Pop, you know I love you. You could be like your daddy, so whatever. You're not finna say no jokes about my mom, bro.
In your mind, you like, we would never talk about our dad like this with him present, but it's like, he's a nigga, bro. Like, I remember people roast. Don't be roasting about my mama.
I remember being in roast in elementary school, and somebody, your mom was home, and I would stop. I don't play like that, bro.
Yeah.
Stop, because we're gonna end up fighting. Change your joke to your brother, your sister, your whoever, but not your mama, because I don't play them type of jokes, bro. Yeah. I don't play like that, so change it. Yeah. I've always been that way.
That ultimately, that's an unfortunate story. Anytime a life is taken, I be personally, I really don't care for what reason. It's unfortunate, but like you said, play silly games, get silly prizes, bro.
No man should ever be.
Word to all you niggas that have put your hands on a woman. Some of these women got kids. They're not playing that. Some of these women, like I always tell people, some of these people got like cousins and brothers and uncles and stuff. It ain't gotta be they man or they child. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, imagine if Quinta or Star got into something and they decided, you know what? Quinta go hold it. Nigga,
she more problems than the fathers in that situation.
Imagine Star got into something.
Yeah.
And she said, you know what? I'm not just gonna call Josh and Darren. I'm gonna call Josh, Darren, Steph, Mike, Doe, Chill, Rod,
everybody,
Shake. You gonna have a real big problem with your hands, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it's just not smart. And on top of it not being smart, like what type of man are you to like you get into a situation with a woman and you put your hands on her, whether you know her or not? Yeah. You a sucker.
In situations like this, I always think about, like, not like this, like, I didn't know about this until you sent me the list today, but in any situation where like it's a public thing, I always think about like how I walk around. I'm not saying that I'm the best example of what a man should be. I don't think that. I think that we all have flaws, and I don't think I'm perfect. But what I've always been conscious of, I think since I've been an adult, or I've been in a position where younger people have been looking at me, is what kind of example am I setting? What would they think if they saw me right now? Mm-hmm. And me turning up on some woman, forget putting my hands on her. Like, when I coached, I went from coaching men's hoops to women's. What I would end every practice with, every man in your life should be treating you like a queen. If he isn't, he's not the dude for you. Now, what would I look like turning up, calling some woman out her name, forget putting my hands on her? How can I give that message and then be like that to any woman? It don't matter who she is. It don't matter what she did to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I was just telling my wife, it was some lady in Trader Joe's was wild rude to me 2 days ago. And I was just like, okay, man. Just walk away. I don't need to turn up on you, because now, in my brain, how this plays out, nobody is going to look at you once I start turning up and be like, damn, she was tripping. I'm like, why is this grown man screaming at this lady in here? Mm-hmm. Like I said, forget putting your hands on her.
That's real.
Like, come on, dude. What kind of dude are you, bro? Like, we can move on. But that's... When you sent that to me, I didn't research it or nothing. It just like, because like what you sent me is crazy. That was like 14-year-old bush ass nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's... Like I said, man, I'm going to be praying for that young man, bro. I can't imagine taking a life right now. Well, like I said, I've wrapped my mind around that if somebody comes in my home. Oh, I can't imagine being a young man and taking a life. I cannot.
He's absolutely going to be wrapped up in my prayer, because it could easily go bad in either direction, because he could either be like, I did what I was supposed to do. I defended my mom. I protected my mom, but I took a life, and the trauma that comes with that. Or it could be the opposite, the extreme opposite, where it's, I'm that nigga. Like, I caught a body at 14. Niggas know what it is with me.
Don't play with me. I do, nigga.
And you turn into this savage. You know what I'm saying? So it could really go bad in either direction. So ever since I heard this story, like, little bro, I wish I knew his name so I could not shout him out, but just say his name so it could be in other people's prayers. But little bro's, I'm 100% gonna be in my prayers for sure. Yeah. The pause game, bro. The pause game. What's your thoughts on it? I like the pause game. I think it's funny. I feel like I know how to keep it where it's supposed to be kept. But I like the pause game. I think it's funny. I think it's cool. I think it's funny.
You'll know what you probably know where my thoughts stand on this, but
I think I do.
My favorite podcast on TV right now is It Is What It Is. So I definitely don't mind it. Like, I play the pause game when I'm online gaming with my friends. It's funny. Just like with all jokes, I think context matters. I think the people that you in, like, I say this all the time, and take this off of the pause game for those of you that don't know. When it's typically with men, when they're around each other and it's all heterosexual men and they say something that could be even just jokingly taken another way, they say pause.
Like, he means another way where it could be like it could be deemed as homosexual, is what he means.
If I said, Mike, you looking good today, the pause game would dictate I say pause after that.
Right.
Hey, bro, you looking good, pause. So, for those of you, for the uninitiated, right? So, I think everything in context matters. I say this to everybody. I do this with, like, jokes about race, and I do this with jokes in general, and everybody that know me know my sense of humor. I might say some wild shit in a certain company. And I say that, you've heard me say this a million times. I don't play around in mixed company. People think I'm standoffish in mixed company because I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure I'm not offending nobody in here. And it's not because I'm worried about getting cancer or nothing like that. Whatever. Y'all niggas just, whatever. I just don't want to offend nobody. I don't want nobody to be uncomfortable because of something I said in a place that I'm in. So the pause game with your friends, if that's what y'all do, whatever. Like me and like all of our cousins, everybody, like we got dudes that wasn't doing it. Just on the mic when we playing our video games and blah 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 blah. Like they be like, "Yo, good D." Pause, bro. Whoa, that was crazy. Like, it's funny. It's funny. You know what I'm saying? But in the wrong company, that's offensive. So I wouldn't do it in the wrong company. You know what I'm saying? Like if like I said, I would be sure of the room that I'm playing that in. If there was somebody that was homosexual or that took offense to that, and I said that, I would immediately apologize and let them know, look, there's a game I play with my friends, like, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah.
And see, I agree, and I'm not mad at that.
And I wouldn't be mad at them for being mad at me about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that this ain't funny to everybody.
I agree and I understand.
This goes back to our conversation just about talking about your community and stuff like that. Like, I get the same feeling like when I see your kids and like, just like seeing them grow. And then like, it's just so weird. Like now that I'm grown and I just look at stuff with a different lens or whatever, it's weird. I say that all the time now that I'm grown. I'm 36 years old. I feel like I've been grown for a minute, but I feel like I'm in a different stage of maturing. I'm not going from a teenager to like kind of like a man or whatever. I'm going from whatever that man is to like somebody that kind of thinks about stuff differently. I feel like I'm in that kind of phase of my life. But like I get the same feeling like when I watch your kids just growing. Like I tell you all the time, like when I see Ben, I'm like, ah, damn, he's so big, bro. Like it's just crazy to watch them and all the potential and everything that you could see them being. I don't say, you know me, I work with kids my whole life. I don't say this about a lot of kids. There's something special about that nigga's daughter, bro. That's one, like, everybody says this about every kid. It just ain't true. Everybody can't just do whatever they want to do. Some people you're going to have to really work at a specific thing and get, she can do whatever she wants to do, bro. That child is special. Like, I feel the same way, not to say that Max ain't. I feel the same way when I look at Baron. I like, this little boy has all the potential in the world. I just, not saying that I don't say that about Max or that I don't look at him like that. But it's like some kids, it's just, it comes off them, like it exudes out of them. It ain't nothing that any kid does. It ain't like she walk around like, oh, I'm that shit. But it's just like, she's a different kind of child. She wants to be excellent in everything that she does.
You know what's funny, bro? It's funny that you say that, and I'm glad that we're recording. I feel the same way about Baron. And I know that Max can, and it's crazy once I've finished talking about this, it might sound crazy, but it's kind of crazy to say because Baron is autistic and Max is not. Or at least I don't think Max is. He hasn't been, he's not shown, he has not been diagnosed, nor is he showing the signs. Mm-hmm. Baron was showing the signs and has already been diagnosed. But I agree. And you would think you would say that about the one that isn't autistic, but I agree. Like I look at Max and because he's the younger brother, and I already recognize that I'm gonna have to, like, once he's of age, I have to tell him, like, bro, like, you can't, because like right now he's copying a lot of things that Baron does, and it's not. Some of the things aren't good because it's like Baron's autistic and he has like certain like outbursts and he does certain things because he's autistic. Mm-hmm. High functioning autistic, but he's autistic. Mm-hmm. And so like I was even telling Chill and Doe, like, I can't wait until Baron's a little older and has a little bit better of an understanding to where, Max is a little bit older and has a better understanding to where I tell him, like, bro, like, your brother's a little different. You can't copy what he does, bro. Like, you can't do that. But
he's Baron, your Max.
And I still feel that way, and that's definitely a conversation we're gonna have to have. But what you said about Baron, I absolutely feel, bro. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you would think because he is autistic and he's gonna have like certain like things that he's gonna have to. I hesitate to say it because you don't want to say it, but it's the truth. Certain things that he's gonna have to overcome and certain hurdles that he's
He
gonna
just has different hurdles.
certain hurdles that he's gonna have to jump over that others aren't, that Max isn't. But yeah, like, and it's really small, bro, and it's really small, and it may not mean anything, but I just recorded him like he loves "Sicko Mode" by Drake and Travis Scott, and he found it on his own, and it's not like a big thing, but to me it's like, yo, he on his own. I didn't show him how to do it. He found the karaoke version of Sicko Mode, where it's just a blue screen and just the words come across the screen. No words. It's just the instrumental. He found that all on his own. He already loved the song and the music video. He found the karaoke version of it all on his own and plays it and can start it from the beginning and rap and sing that song from start to finish, bro.
Yeah.
And granted, it's a song. It's, you know, you can memorize that, but it's like, it's that along.
But he's musically inclined. Everybody is not that. Yeah, 100%.
And
Baron was a baby. He could tell you what his favorite Kendrick Lamar song was.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what I was gonna say
Yeah.
next. That's exactly what I was gonna say next. It's not just that he loves it. It's that, like, bro, like, he did this when he was 3. We'd be in the car, and he was his speech was late. His speech was late.
But he could tell you that he wouldn't say his, he would tell you when a song or
he
that
had
song
enough to tell you, put this song on, and when it comes on, I'm gonna sing it from start to finish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's different.
That's not just a memory thing.
No,
That's
it's
like,
not.
You know what
It's
I'm saying?
not.
It's anyway.
Like I said, it's musically inclined. I know people like I put. My wife would be a superstar, out of this world, nigga, like Joe Budden, nigga, gone, out of here. If she could only sing. She has a performer spirit.
I would agree with that.
She could perform, nigga. She has no hesitation. She would be an amazing performer if she just had the musical ability. Like, she wants to take singing lessons. She was like, yo, she literally said this the other day. Imagine if I could carry a tune. Because she's tone deaf. She's like, imagine if I could carry a tune. I was like, you'd be out of here. And I ain't just saying that because she's my wife. Like, she truly loves to perform. She's always trying to record a video, make a music video, all of that, right? And I say, like, when I talk about Baron and I talk about, like, Joe's daughter, it's for different reasons. Like I said, she exudes excellence in everything that she does. Like, gymnastics is a perfection sport. This is a result-based thing. Like, you have to be perfect. And she's an excellent gymnast. She competes in state every year. School. Everything that she chooses to do, she is willing to put the work in to be excellent at it. She was like, hey, because anytime I'm around, I'm always pushing basketball. You know me or whatever. Like, and when she was younger, she was interested in basketball. We had a couple training sessions, and I was like, yo, like, this is before she did gymnastics. Like, she's very intelligent, and she just, like, it's different. Like, I tell people this all the time. Just being smart or just being gifted or whatever ain't enough. She's willing to put in the work. Like, I was up there and I literally just went up there, go spend a day up there, kick it with him. And this is like maybe a couple months ago. And this is when she first like started playing basketball. And she was like, and Joe always talks about like, he goes to like, she's homeschooled. So they'll take like some of their day and go work on like sports stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's playing basketball now, they'll go do basketball drills or whatever. And Joe always tells her like, yo, you know, Uncle Steph is like, he's a basketball trainer, basketball coach. Like, he knows way more than me. I came up there. She was like, do you have your shoes? Can we go to the park? Like, I want to learn how to, like, shoot. I want to learn how to do this. Like, she doesn't want to do anything and be average. Yeah. She wants to excel. She wants to be exceptional. And I think that's just that's not being super gifted. And she's a gifted gymnast. But she's also committed to the work. You know what I mean? She's not just like, oh, I got this God-given ability. Like, she's a different kind of athlete for a child her age.
Those are the greats. Those are the greats. You listen to Kenny the Jet Smith on Inside the NBA. Listen to him talk about Michael Jordan. It was like Michael Jordan was the most athletic player I had ever seen. But he was also the first player I had ever seen that was that athletic, that had his correct hand in the passing lane, that he had a commitment to sitting down and sliding on defense. He had a commitment to the technique of actually boxing out a player and exploding up for the rebound. Like, he wasn't just athletic. Mm-hmm. He wanted to be technically sound as well. Mm-hmm. And that's what separates people, I'd say.
No.
Kobe was the same way.
No, 100%. And it's weird because I don't feel like I was ever like an exceptional athlete. I feel like I was probably slightly above average, but I feel like, at least when it came to basketball, I felt like I could go in any sport and do whatever, and I was pretty good at any sport I tried to play. But I feel like basketball, I just understood it differently than other people. I never, from the first time that I can imagine getting on a court, like the first time I ever played in an organized league, I just felt like I felt like I knew what to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I didn't look crazy doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's different. I feel like when people say like they're a natural, I feel like I was a natural at basketball. Like, it made sense to me off top. That's different than recognizing that, and then also being like, what is all the work I need to do to be excellent at this? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a different level of understanding. And when I trained Joe's daughter, she's 9 now. She was 5.
That's crazy.
She was 5, and she was like, well, if I'm going to play basketball, and at that point, she was just interested in basketball. She hadn't played organized basketball yet. She was like, oh, Uncle Steph knows how to play basketball? Can we go to him? Can he teach me? And she's like literally in there at 5 years old, like, oh, okay, my elbow needs to be like this, and it still ain't great, but she's committed to the work. Mm-hmm. And I think especially in children, where you can recognize that, you can nurture that, and you can just be like, okay, look. And like I said, it's in whatever she does. Like I said with Max, like, we used to talk about it all the time. Like, he wasn't going to say the name because he ain't about to be getting in trouble, but Damn was his favorite song as a baby. And he could tell you that. He is different. Like, there's people that are tone deaf, and then there's people that like you've always been like, he probably gets it from you. You've always been musically inclined. You could play something by ear. You could teach yourself how to play the piano. You could do this other things. And Baron could hear something and be like, he feels the music different. He remembers the music, but like harmonies and things like that.
Bro.
He remembers, can feel it differently.
Before Baron had ever watched a music video, before he had ever seen a rapper before he had ever seen a rapper in his rapper swag, he'd hear a song and go to the mirror and look at himself and be like, before he had ever seen it anywhere, bro. Yeah. He'd hear a song that he liked, and go to the mirror and have rapper hands in the mirror. Yeah. Before he ever seen anybody do it, bro. Yeah. That's when I was like, it had to make me like, I never forget, bro. Like, sitting back and looking at him like, where did he learn that from? Mm-hmm. He's he's never seen anyone. He's never watched a music video to watch a rapper be in the camera. Yeah. Like,
and rappers don't even have rapper hands no more. They doing different stuff. They hold no guns and money.
Where has he ever seen that before, bro? He was like 2 or 3 at the time. Mm-hmm. He's 7 now. But that was the first thing that made me be like,
yeah.
Like that.
That's dope.
And now he's bro, to this, like, bro, like, I'll show you off camera, but I think I was just talking about it. Yeah, he pulled up Sicko Mode, the karaoke version, where just the words are on the screen. And he could read some of those words, but he can't read all of them. But he'll pull up Sicko Mode and let the words just come on the screen. And Keisha and I were talking about it today. Wifey and I were talking about it today. His timing on it is perfect, bro. He can't read all those words, and like on the karaoke thing, it counts down like you can see the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on the screen before he gets into the words. He doesn't really know what that's about. Like, and then a lot of the time he's not even looking at it. Mm-hmm. He'll put it on because we've told him like, you can't watch that music video because it'll be girls. Yeah. You can't watch that music video, so he'll pull up that, and he won't even be looking at it. Mm-hmm. And it's not even just the words, the ad libs. Astro before the song's Astro, yeah, yeah, going on you with the sicko mode, young and flame, like without looking at it, his timing is on point, bro, and he loves to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bro, like let me, okay.
From for me, like I said, I'm warming up. I'm getting back in my podcast bag from rapping lyrics to rapper beef.
Okay. Yeah. Good one. My God. I used to have a podcast. I'm not in a segue.
I used to be on some shit.
I used to have a podcast, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, Jim Jones and Pusha T, dog. Like, let me get your thoughts. You might know where I stand in this.
I don't.
I love both. I love both. If there was a short list, and people laugh at me when I say this, yo, Jim Jones is fire.
Yes.
People ain't listening to his projects. People ain't everyday people that just listen to mainstream rap or hip hop. They're not listening to the project Jim Jones has been putting out since like him and Cameron have like separated, or Dipset's not a thing, or whatever it is. Jim Jones is fire, and everybody knows my top 5 rappers all time. Pusha T's on it. So I'm torn in this beef.
I didn't know that. Pusha T's in your top 5 rappers of all time?
Yeah, my favorite. I'm not saying he's one of the best,
no,
but I mean to me,
your favorite.
Yeah, to me, yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Pusha T's about to kick this nigga's ass. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, there's I don't.
It's different. Pusha T's different when it comes to the battle and shit too.
Because this is a rap beef. Because it's a lyrical rap beef.
Thank you.
And because
and I wanted to stay there.
Because me too. Because Jim Jones himself has said like this ain't that. We already know I can get to some gangster shit. This is some lyrical rap thing. Mm-hmm. This is a lyrical rap thing. I don't see a world where Jim Jones can win.
You've heard both.
He can make it entertaining.
You've heard both tracks.
I'm not
right?
saying it's a landslide.
Have you heard both tracks?
Yeah.
Look, man.
It's not the same.
Look, like I said,
the same.
Push said a lot of stuff in the first shot because he threw out the first shot. He drew blood first.
Yes.
When he said reality TV's mud wrestling, I was like, he's talking about some different stuff, bro. He's out at Paris Fashion Week, and his man is running it. Pharrell's running it. They're playing his song. Jay-Z and Beyonce are nodding their heads at Paris Fashion Week, at a fashion show. Upscale fashion show. This song is playing. Jim Jones had to do better than what his response was. And he's capable of better, and I expect better to come out of this beef. But we saw Pusha T's battle work with Drake, bro. Nobody thinks Drake won that. Nobody thinks, because he didn't. Because he couldn't. Pusha T is meticulous about this shit. He is not just waking up and going to do a verse. He has songs ready for Jim. And if Jim is just going to be on that fly shit that he was talking about on that response, and I thought his response was good. It was good rapping. I don't want to say he in a different league because I love Jim Jones, but
bro, the way Pusha T goes about rap beef,
he spit like.
The way Pusha T goes about rap beef made me rethink how I just go about anything. Just so ready, so prepared, so capable.
So
like he
coordinated, so thought out.
Thought out, so coordinated, so ready, so meticulous. It made me think like everyone should approach everything the way Pusha T approaches rap beef.
You know, I know where you're sensitive.
You feel me?
Oh my god!
And I don't know what he's talking about, but I assume Jim Jones knows.
No. It's a hard line, and nobody knows what he's talking about. But everybody knows that Jim Jones knows what he's talking about.
Everyone assumes. We don't know yet.
Jim Jones know because because he started trying to explain shit in the verse. That's why we know, because he started trying to explain. He's like, niggas know when my house got repoed, it was blah, 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 blah. Yes, nigga, we know that he's all in your business. We know that he's in your bag.
I don't think that's what he was talking about. I don't think the fact that Jim Jones spoke on it so quick, I don't think that's what he's talking about. I don't.
I think that it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be in the next response.
I don't know if it has to do with music business. I don't know if it has to do with his woman and his marriage. I don't know what it has to do with, but whatever Jim Jones spoke to, I don't think that's what it's about.
I do agree. I think they said this on the Joe Budden podcast. I do agree that, like, because Joe Budden said when Push says, I know where you sensitive, said Jim Jones is the type that it's like, okay, nigga, that's cool. That's as far as you need to go. You go any farther, I'm pulling up on you. I hope that, like I said, I hope it stays rap. Because I love rap music and I love both these artists. I don't want to see no other shit happening. But they're also, like Push said, they're not in the same places.
And again, this is why I think it can end up being very entertaining, because Pusha T don't need to be in the spaces where Jim Jones is.
Yeah, 100%.
He could say the most flagrant shit he wants to say and not have to be where you are, to worry about you and your people coming to touch you.
Yeah. I think that...
I do think that is a little bit...
No. I don't like that. I know what you're about to say. I don't like that in hip-hop, bro. We don't need to... This doesn't need to be a physical thing. This don't need to be... He's not questioning your game. Nobody's questioning if Jim Jones is connected. Nobody's... You don't need to... No, we don't need to go there. Everybody knows that if Jim Jones wants somebody touched, he can get them touched. Everybody knows that. We're not talking about that. So yes, he's not going to be in the same place that you need to be, but he don't gotta be, because you guys aren't going to see each other anyway. Ain't like he got to prove how hard he is. You know what I'm saying? Drake was talking, oh, you didn't sell drugs, and Pusha T was like, all right, nigga. All right, nigga. I just rapped for 20 years about cocaine with nobody ever questioning it. Drake ain't going to be the nigga that exposes somebody. Like, cut it out. Like, that's what Pusha T was like, yo, you think if I was lying, I'd been exposed all this time? What are you talking about? I've been in a rap game, rap about the same thing. Ain't like my content's changed. Mm-hmm. I just came up with more clever ways to talk about moving work. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you see what Cameron said? Mm-hmm. Cameron was like, don't be trying to bring up, because in part of Push's his first shot at Jim Jones, he was talking about like how him and Cam they not cool and all of that other stuff. He was like, yo, me and Jim might not see eye to eye, but I'm always with the family, I'm always with Harlem, I'm always with Dipset, blah, 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 blah. And then Cameron was like, I don't care if y'all put me in y'all lines, I don't do rap no more, I do sports. He's like, I'm good off rap. Yeah, so he's like, yo, y'all have a blast, go ahead, man, have fun. But I ain't gonna be jumping in this, because Jim Jones was like, who gonna spin the block for him? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yo, wait. And then he straight up said, he was like, yo, I'm not talking about no gangster shit, because everybody knows I could do that. I'm talking about lyrically, who gonna spin the block for him? Is Pharrell gonna jump on the track? He already tried to get his brother on me, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. It's like, that's cool. I'm gonna enjoy this rap hip-hop beef between two artists that I love, because this is a competitive fucking sport. I wish I could rap and put words together like that, because I'd be shooting at niggas.
I appreciate you pulling up on me, bro.
Of course, bro.
I appreciate
it. Of course. It was fun, man.
Yeah,
I'm glad, like, look, bro, I don't get out the house much. To be honest, I think I'm just old and I don't be wanting to leave the house, but this was fun. It was fun. It made me excited to start my little shit and see what I could come up with. You know what's funny is, like, I've never claimed to be a creative. Never, ever. You know that. I'm not, like, you're talented with music and creating things. Like, I bring this up to my wife for her painting the things she created. I can't look at something blank and just be like, this is gonna be that. People like you and my wife, y'all could do that. This is gonna be the first time me kind of like trying to muster some creative juices and put it towards something. This was to be honest, I forgot how much I like doing this shit, man. I ain't gonna lie. It just feel good.
It's funny. I look at most things, it's funny that you say that. I look at most things as, I was going to say not really most things, but I look at most things as a blank canvas. And what can I do with it? Yeah. Whether I'm even, I'll say it, and if I don't want to keep it, I'll take it out. Even just like things like the Swish Pro-Am. I look at like, it's not a blank canvas. They've already created something. But I look at it like, what can it be? And what
can I bring or add to?
Not even that, but just what can they do with it? Even if they don't include me.
Yeah.
What can be done with this space? I definitely, if they include me, what I could help, what I could do. Because I look at it, okay, I'll say it like this. I look at it like the Swiss Pro-Am. It's not a blank canvas. It's a canvas that has been doodled on, been painted on, been some amazing creations.
It's a thing that's been constructed, yeah.
Some amazing creations have already been created on the canvas that has been designated for the Swiss Pro-Am. But I also look at it as like, if they were to allow me or someone like me to create on their canvas with them, not saying give me the canvas, let me create on the canvas with them what it could be. I think that's fair and not offensive.
I think any creator looks at things like that.
I think that's fair and not offensive to anyone that's involved with this.
Because I look at pieces, I look at things, and I look at like what pieces are there and how they can be put together. Like my mind works differently. I don't say what I could create. I say what's there, and if we did this, if we did that, maybe if we change this a little bit, it probably could work a little bit more efficiently. I think that's why I was good. Like that's why I think I was better as a player than as a coach than as a player. Because as a player, you're in it, you're doing it, and like as a coach, I really got to hone in on the preparation, look at what happened, and how are we going to move on from that. Mm-hmm. That's why, like, I mean, you saw me as a coach. I feel like any team that I've ever had got exponentially better over a season.
That's a fact. That's not even a thought.
It doesn't matter where our starting point was.
That's a fact.
Because I'm going to look at it and say, these pieces could go like this, and now my whole focus for that whole season is getting these pieces to work the best I could see them put. If we do this, if we move this rotation, if we put this player, if we got this play, what if we run our system like this? You know what I'm saying? Like my mind goes into all of that stuff. If I looked at something blank, I'm like my wife do it. She paints, she creates things out of thin air, and I'll be like, you painted that on a blank white canvas. No fucking way. No fucking way I could ever do that. No way. Fuck the talent of being able to paint. Or being able to draw or whatever. Where'd you come up with it? Like I used to do, like y'all be sitting up making music, like making beats and putting rhymes together. I'm like,
and I was about to
nigga, that's a beat. How you come up with a beat, bro?
This would be a conversation for another podcast, but I see most things as a blank canvas. I see most things as, even if it's okay, I do see most things as a blank canvas. But even if it's not blank, I see most things as, if I put my creativity on it, where can it go afterwards? That's how I see it. And maybe that's a little cocky, but that is how I see most things. Like, like, no matter how dope it is already, I'll look at it and be like, yo, they could do this and do that and do this and do that with that, and then it'll be out of here. So I look at most things as, if I touch it, if I give my thoughts and ideas to it, it could really go and be something even great. It's already great. I'm not trying to take away from the greatness of anything that I've ever looked at or ever been a part of or whatever. Yeah. It's great as it is.
You just feel like that about your creative talent.
But I feel like about my creative talent, if I throw my Michael Flix on it, what can it turn into?
That's just like with any coach. Like, I don't care how good the team is. I don't care how good the players are or how good that personal coach is. I don't got to be the head coach. I feel like if I'm in that coaching room, I'm going to give some perspectives, some thoughts, or some ideas that people go,
If my thoughts are considered, not even if I'm a part of it, if my thoughts are considered, it'll be like,
One of the biggest compliments I ever got as a coach came from a dude that I truly admire, and I feel like he's a mentor of mine. Dame Cephas, he ain't gonna care.
I was about to say, shout him out.
Yeah. He told me the best thing that you do as a coach is you communicate what's in your brain and your ideas to your team. It's always crystal clear. He's like, you don't have to yell. You don't gotta force people to do it. You just have a way of explaining it to your players. It's easy to digest, and you put it and you teach it in a way where it's in portions. So nobody feels like they're ever getting swallowed by information.
No one's ever overwhelmed.
Yeah, and he was like, you do it individually, you do it as a team, and he was like, and this is when I was a very young coach. He was like, you could tell when you were coaching JV that you were coaching that JV team like you would coach a college team. And he was like, most people feel like they have to teach and coach differently depending on where they're at. You do it the same way. So as you gain knowledge and things like that, you don't got to change how you coach. You just got to get the knowledge and do what you do. And I feel like I was able to do that as a coach, and that's one of the things I kind of took in everything I do. So now, like, somebody, like, he was the first person, like, I felt like I was a good coach because I knew basketball. But he was the first person that kind of, like, made me think about, like, damn, like, what he said to me is, like, you approach this differently. We had an AAU tournament, we were in Vegas, and we were in a hotel one night. And he was coaching the top team, the national team, and I was coaching our regional team. And he was like, bro, like, Dame don't really yell, but he'll get hyped up and yell every now and then. He was like, you never have to, like, yell. Like, I might get loud enough to where my players can hear me, but he's like, you never have to yell. And I was like, yeah, because I feel like all the preparation is done prior to the game. If I'm screaming and yelling during the game, that's because something wasn't communicated earlier. If I can't go, hey, we talked about this. That means they weren't prepared. If I'm screaming, yelling, losing my mind, breaking the clipboard, all that shit. Like, I hate it when coaches do that shit. Nigga, you screaming at me right now? You acting like you ain't the coach. You screaming at me because all these people out here looking. Because you wasn't screaming in practice. Mm-hmm. You was clapping it up. I was doing shit right in practice. And now you hot all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was like when like I said, that was very early when I started coaching. I was like, yo, I want to say that's when I think we were all at mom and dad's, and I told the whole family, I was like, yo, I could do this. Like, I could do this for real. Like, I'm going to AAU tournaments. I'm matching up with some of the best coaches in the country, and this shit I do works. Like, this shit I do works. The way I deal with players, the way I communicate with players, this shit works. College coaches coming up to me like, yo, she's prepared for college. He's prepared for college because they're dealing with you. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Like, when I went to that college coach interview.
You're in the right spot. You're doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, when I went to that college, when I went to junior college in the area, I interviewed for one of them coaching jobs. Like, I was nervous because it was the highest level I ever applied for, but I wasn't nervous from the coaching part. I felt like I had that. Like, and that coach told me, she was like, yo, you got it. I couldn't take the job because things just didn't match up right. Pretty much like monetarily, I wasn't in a position where I could kind of take a pay cut at that point. But it was a huge confidence booster. Huge confidence booster. I started talking shit to niggas.
Stuff like that is a similar situation to that. Exactly. It is why I felt like this whole like radio and broadcasting thing is what I'm supposed to do. Like my first time ever, and I saved the video from when I was I recorded them for my Instagram story when I was driving home. But my first time recording, and this is when I was at the internet radio show where it was like you had to record a whole hour of audio that had to make it to the internet when I was at WS Radio. Mm-hmm. It was like you couldn't just do 30 minutes. It was like he was going to let me.
We got a time slot.
He was going to let me have it so I can create my own content, but it was like you're at WS Radio. You got On the Mic with Michael Flix at WS Radio. I need an hour. Regardless if you're having somebody to interview, somebody to talk to or not, I need an hour of compelling content.
Yeah.
My first time doing it, and my first time recording a full hour with no guests. I didn't have anybody to talk to bounce ideas off of, to interview, to ask about his journey.
To ping pong with.
It was just me for an hour. And I crafted my topics, what I was going to talk about every 15 minutes. I chopped it up and I was like, because I knew I wasn't going to have no guests. And I was like, okay, I got to be ready. And I did it. And after I was done, the guy that owned WS Radio, he had been doing radio for 30 years. His partner had been doing radio for 20 years. After I got off the air, they were both telling me how well I did, how entertaining it was, how they were looking forward to next week to listen to me again to see like how I was going to do it the next week.
That's dope.
I was like, that was what made me feel like, yeah, I'm in the right spot.
Yeah, I'm where I'm supposed to be.
I've never.
Well, I'm on the right path.
I've never done this before, and to like, I don't know if a lot of people know this. I was already doing the Family Room podcast with you.
Mm-hmm.
I had not yet started interviewing high school athletes or coaches, or I hadn't started interviewing anyone. I was only doing a podcast with you. And I reached out to this guy that already had his own radio show, but he already seen my content. He seen my Mikey Williams, my everybody else from San Diego that was already lit. He seen the content. And he told me, he was like, bro, the kids, the players that you film, if you could find a way to get them to pull up and sit down and interview for at least 20 to 30 minutes, that'd be golden, bro. If you could do that, I would love that as a 30-minute sports segment on my show. I'm like, all right, bet. So I reached out to the first couple of people I've seen, like, and one of them happened to be my guy Nova. We still friends to this day. He's my first ever interview ever. We're still friends to this day. But after doing that, and I knew he went to Morris. I know he played overseas, but other than that, I didn't know anything about the nigga. So I talked about him playing at Morris. I talked about him playing overseas. Other than that, I just freestyled everything.
Yeah.
And after that, like, you guys, Derek, the other two niggas left. Oh no, Derek wasn't there. Sorry, Derek wasn't there yet. But my other two niggas left. And the same dude that told me that, like, after I did my first hour by myself, he was like, yo, you should keep doing this. He was like, I was really good.
Yeah.
Like, you only had him in for 30 minutes. Like, I wanted to know more about him.
Yeah.
If you let him go after 30 minutes, I wanted to know more about him. And that's why I was like, okay, like, I got something.
Yeah,
but after I did an hour by myself, and then I was like, okay, like, I'm about to turn up. Like, yo, this is where I need to be. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, had me be like, okay, this is space I need to be. I don't know if I've necessarily, because I've done several podcasts that have been over an hour long, and I don't know if I've necessarily executed on that hour plus the way I did when he was like, yo, you're good at this. But that you're good at this from a nigga that's been doing this for 25 plus years.
Oh, it's confirmation. It's it's like, affirming. Yeah.
This, I can do this and I can be good at this. And if I direct my focus to this and decide I want to be good at this and I want to do this, then I can be. So
that's dope.
That's what I've been doing since then.
That's dope.
So, anywho, big bro,
my man,
I appreciate you pulling up on me, man.
Of course.
Means a lot, man, for real.
Of course.
I've told several people, man, you of course, you're my big brother, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it would be extremely difficult to duplicate that kind of chemistry with somebody that you've known for your whole life, you know what I'm saying? It'd be hard to duplicate that kind of chemistry and that kind of back and forth, but I've told people several times, like, yo, like, my favorite person to do to podcast or to radio with is my big brother, and it's still true to this day. So I appreciate you pulling up. I appreciate you.
Of course.
Thank you. It was an honor to have you on the Ain't Got It Yet podcast, and I hope we have you back again, bro.
Yeah, of course.
Ain't Got It Yet podcast. I appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Till next time. Take care.
You're.